Deep Space Radio Season 1, The Artifact. Hi there, everybody. This is Collin, Gossel, and welcome to Deep Space Radio. Congratulations are in order to all you fine listeners out there aboard the STS-45 Cloudbreather. It has now been exactly 1 year since we set off from our home planet, Shen. That's right. Happy anniversary, space colonists. The worst is behind us. We've finally passed through those turbulent nebulas and got a first-hand view of why no one else wanted to go through them. Turns out just because clouds are red and blue does not make them fun or delicious, and I do regret claiming they would be. But it should be smooth sailing from here on out. Only 3 years left until we reach HR 2463 Beta. And boy, that procedural planetary designation has never sounded more like home. But now, folks, what you've been waiting for. You love it. I love it. Ship bylaws require it if we want to keep broadcasting. So here it is, your daily news update. What is happening today aboard the Cloudbreather? Well, down on the main concourse, passersby may have noticed some new artwork adorning the sides of the trolley. These images, which seem to depict our head of security, Officer Maxwell, have taken a bit of artistic liberty in regards to his height, the kind of things he usually says, how much pants he usually wears out in public. Officer Maxwell, towering at 5'7", had this to say: "I know who is responsible for this libelous graffiti, and all of you kind citizens have my word they will be brought to justice." Hey, we believe in you, Officer Maxwell. Track down that adolescent. In happier news, a lamb was born aboard the agricultural deck last night. Now, healthy births are incredibly rare at near relativistic speeds, so exozoologist Carrie Castile described this as an absolute miracle. She says both mother and baby are in fine form, though the proud ram has been up all night trying to make the finances work. Welcome to the family, little lamb. And don't get too settled in this new house. A general reminder to all corporeal passengers from our computerized counterparts, please refrain from saving any personal files aboard the ship's dedicated SRT drives. Computerized store owner Annie Maddox put it quite eloquently, saying, quote, "How would you like to go home after a long day of work only to find someone had broken in and left a box of vintage porn behind in your living room?" Would that I knew, Annie. Finally, our intrepid Captain Donnell, who may have graduated last in his class at the Academy, but paints an impeccable landscape, sent along an interesting heads up for all you stargazers out there. Our long-range scanners have picked up an oncoming cloud of debris. There may be a couple bumps and bangs as the metallic rocks break up against our deflector fields, but it should make for, quote, quite the captivating sight. To send us out, we've got a new mix by teenager Mercury Theed of Deck 7, unappreciated by the man, and a talented artist in all respects. Take it away, Mercury. And how about that debris field, folks? Wow, what a show. You know, some people call Deep Space Radio Studios just a repurposed airlock, but you know what I call it? The best seat in the house. Although it is, of course, a repurposed airlock. Anyway, anyone who was watching the fireworks likely noticed our intrepid pilot, Claudio Atlos, doing some fancy flying out into the debris. Now, fun though it may be for a world-famous spacer like him to risk his life for our entertainment, rumors have been spreading through the ship that he actually flew into the debris to bring something back. Now, what did we find out there? Is it valuable? Is it dangerous? Now, these are the very questions the bridge has asked me not to spread. And to further cut off any entertaining speculation, Captain Donnell, our leader who rules with a rubber fist, has prepared a short address for all passengers. Here it is.
Hello, passengers. It's me, the captain. Captain Donnell, that is. So stop what you're doing and listen up, if you have a moment. Yesterday, as we were passing through the debris field, our scanners picked up a strange energy signature. It was, oscillating in a unique way, and we all noticed it immediately. So I sent our pilot, Claudio, into the debris field to investigate, and he found a sort of pyramid thing. It's made of metal, about 6 feet tall and covered in interesting markings, and I'm told are very, very interesting. So interesting, in fact, that we brought it on board to study further. Now, the important thing to remember is that there is no danger. It's just a big piece of metal. But the markings could mean that there's an unknown human colony out here, or maybe a probe that's drifted far off course. And anyway, our science team, led by Professor Bolin, want to learn what they can about its origins. While they do so, no one should be spreading rumors about what the artifact is or where it came from. And that's an order. If I hear people saying things that they shouldn't do, well, you better watch out. Just watch out. That's right. So, okay. That's all. Everyone, please go back to your business. How do you think that sounded? Was that official? Like, do I sound official? I had this, like, frog in my throat. Do you think people could hear? You know? What? What button?
And it looks like it's that time of the month again, folks. Professor Bolin, distinguished intellect and former head of the Science Academy on Shen, someone we're lucky to have aboard, has prepared his monthly broadcast covering a, quote, scientific topic relevant to the public interest. Yeah. And of course, I'm excited to bring it to you here on everyone's favorite station for entertainment. This month, the good professor will be addressing the strange artifact we picked up in deep space that his team has been studying. Take it away, Professor Bolin.
Good. Afternoon, passengers, young and old. For today's brief lecture, I've received countless requests for information concerning the artifact we found in deep space. It does seem like an exciting topic. Unfortunately, as is so often the case, the light of science has dissolved the shroud of mystery to reveal the mundane and familiar. The artifact is, quite simply, a big, boring bulk of metal. Basic metallic molecular structure, rust-resistant but no higher technological functionality or internal circuitry, at least none I can detect. The markings on its hull do catch the eye, slightly ominous perhaps to the superstitious among us, but they bear none of the universal symbols or clues that most human cultures use to indicate higher meaning. My early analysis is that this clump of metal is only slightly more interesting than the countless others we've picked up so far. It's important to remember that although we're far from home, there's little out here more interesting than the so-called mysteries I studied on Chen. This piece of universe is no different than the last after all. Of course, questions about its origins could carry ephemeral strategic advantages. Are there nearby humans living beyond the gaze of the 42 colonies who constructed it? Could this even be the first evidence of extraterrestrial life? Perhaps an ancient spacefaring civilization long forgotten by cosmic history. Their ruins beaten into dust by the endless waves of cosmic radiation, but for this last metallic idol? Though the answers of these questions matter little to me personally, they may help our dear flustered captain as we navigate these uncharted waters. And so I will continue to investigate. This has been Professor Bolin. I will return again soon.
Hey, thank you so much, Professor. That was just riveting stuff, as always. And while we're talking science, now seems as good a time as any to remind all listeners that it's time for our regular ship physicals with Dr. Lake, the youngest head physician in Chen history. She's recorded this little reminder for all of us. Here it is.
Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Lake. Hey, listen, I know it's a huge bummer, right? But it's super important you come in for your regular physical as soon as you can. Some people I've been talking to have been saying they don't think it's a big deal, but here's the thing, it totally is. Near-relativistic travel does weird things to people's bodies, and not in a good way. So I just have to keep an eye on you. I know a lot of you have never had a doctor like me before, but trust me, I'm going to have you all out there looking healthy and well-rested as quick as a flash. I'm winking now if you can't see.
Hey everybody, this is Collin Gossel, and you're listening to Deep Space Radio. Now, as you all know, there's been a rash of breakdowns and malfunctions across the ship, heating and cooling issues, unresponsive systems in common areas, and every now and then the gravity turns off, which can be a bit inconvenient if you're cooking or cleaning or standing on the floor, little things like that. To address your concerns, Captain Donnell held a small press conference today, accompanied by our powerful head engineer, Tasha Paulson. Here is a snippet of that press conference.
Thank you all for being here. Now, I've received your complaints and wanted everyone to know that we're working tirelessly to make sure ship systems are fully operational. It's a massive priority, something I think about constantly, and an issue I'm sure will be resolved in no time at all. I have here with me our chief engineer, Tasha Paulson, who feels the same. Tasha?
Yeah.
Yes, here she is. Chief Paulson was living here on the ship, keeping it in working order years before the rest of us arrived, so she knows better than any of us what kind of upkeep it requires. So what would you say to the passengers asking about delays in repairs, Chief?
I'll get to it.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, any advice for said passengers on how to make do in the meantime?
I'd remind them that this ship is not your house. It's a rundown miracle of engineering, and it should be treated as such. I see a lot of people mistreating the machinery.
Oh, I'm sure they don't mean to.
I see it. Being aggressive with the consoles, neglecting regular repairs, making excessive power draws during peak hours. You treat the ship bad, it'll treat you bad.
Now, Chief, I'm certain everyone on board is doing their best.
Oh, are they? Captain, do you recall the updates on the artificial gravity hardware I suggested before we left Chen? Too expensive, I think, was your opinion.
Well, I said...
And who was it who recommended we take a detour around the debris field instead of straining our systems by letting it break against our deflector field? Was it you? Oh, no. You were eager to paint the pretty colors.
All right, Chief. I think you've made your point.
Alive is the goal. Comfortable is a bonus. You all knew what you were signing up for.
Folks, that is cool. And in other news about incredible ladies, Martha Crittle, the ship's singular octogenarian, today underwent her hip procedure in the infirmary and has already been released. Yay, Martha! We checked in on her, and she had this to say.
So I got a little work done. Who hasn't? I just wish I'd have done it earlier. I'd have whipped those kids up and down the flyball court. And you know I would.
Listeners, I have a real treat for you today. I've been getting calls left and right wanting to know more about the Cloudbreather's newest passenger, the baby lamb, born on the agricultural deck last week. Well, I was lucky enough to visit the deck and meet up with our resident exozoologist, Kit Castile, for an introduction to this pint-sized celebrity, as well as a look around the facilities. And of course, I recorded the whole thing. Take a listen.
So, this is the animal handling facility. I call it the barn. Over here is where I keep my tools. I put them in order from most dirty to least dirty so that when you walk in, you can't smell the dirty ones all the way over there, and then when it's time to clean them, the dirty ones are right next to you. Are you sure this is the kind of thing people want to hear about?
I mean, people are asking for it.
And it's going out to the whole ship?
Yeah.
Jeez, I should have worn a better shirt. Okay, well, right over here is the sheep enclosure. They didn't sleep well last night. The ship must have been rocking.
How can you tell?
I mean, you can hear it.
You can hear it.
Oh, sure. Well, just listen to that. Bah, bah. I mean, that's how I'd sound if I didn't get my frosty winks. Anyway, and if you just give me a second, I can just pop over this and grab the little guy. Here he is.
Oh, wow. Look at this fella.
I've been calling him Cotton Ball. His favorite things are running around after drinking water and when I sing him little songs. He's a really smart guy, too. He even found the pocket where I hold the milk bottles, so now I gotta keep him out of reach in a special cabinet. and he's totally healthy, which is super rare for near relative speed births. But if anyone wants to meet him, just let me know, and you can come visit the barn whenever you like. You can tell them that. They can come visit the barn whenever they like.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Cotton Ball is waiting for your visit. Before that, however, I have an important announcement from Head of Security Officer Maxwell, who has caught the culprit responsible for the dastardly graffiti on the main concourse. Wow, what a catch. Here he is now.
Yes, hello, fellow citizens. This is Officer Maxwell speaking. As we all know, vandalism, it's no laughing matter, especially when it depicts a hardworking member of the local community. I have someone here with me right now who would like to apologize for their recent actions. I ask that you hear them out. Come on. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, this is Mercury Theed. There's something very important I want to say to anyone who's willing to listen. This is very difficult. I've been taken hostage by an unhinged pervert.
What?
He's a madman, and he looks disgusting. Please, if you're listening, I need help.
No, she is not being... Stop it. She is not being held hostage.
Oh my god, he has a knife.
I do not...
Don't come closer. No, stop.
All right. Okay, well, I think it's obvious you've learned your lesson. Thank you. It's important to respect public property.
Please, anyone. The killer. It was Officer Maxwell.
She's fine.
He's touching his nipples right now.
Okay, we're done. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, thank you. All right, yep. Just out the way you came. Don't tag that. I'm seeing you do it. Stop spray painting. I'm watching you. Fine.
It seems the fever surrounding the artifact in the docking bay has begun to die down as people realize there's not a lot to say about a big, boring bulk of metal. Well, that is except for one very vocal passenger who feels we never should have brought it aboard, Bradley Theed, head of the Passenger Activism Association. I caught up with Bradley on the agricultural deck where he runs his farm, and he had this to say.
Collin, I'm so glad you're here. You see, because this artifact from Umbra knows where maybe nothing, or it could be a danger to all of us. It could be some sort of disease-ridden alien carcass. It could be a bomb. Whatever it is will have consequences for the entire ship. And it was brought on board without consulting anyone in the PAA, without even thinking about how it might affect the regular passengers. Just trying to get from Chen to Beta. It's possible this thing could kill us all.
Ugh, God, can you please just chill and be cool for like 1 second? Seriously, this is like the whole point of being out here.
No. The point of being out here is to keep you alive.
Well, that's too bad because you make me want to die.
Eagle-eared listeners may have, for just a moment, heard Bradley's daughter and friend of the show, Mercury, Theed in the background. Now, most passengers seem to share Mercury's ambivalence, including the man who brought the artifact back himself and risked his life to do it, pilot Claudio Atlos. I actually had the star himself in the studio with me earlier today. Take a listen to our conversation. How were you doing, Claudio?
Fine, Collin. Just fine. Not much to do aboard a ship like this, is there?
Well, not compared to the hotspots on Chen, I'll bet. But we try to make our own fun. Speaking of which, that was some impressive work dodging debris to go get that artifact.
Oh, that? Yeah. I'd say that was about as much excitement as a lot of these guys have seen since they could watch me on their vid screens planetside.
I mean, one false move, and it could have been over for you. Were you nervous at all?
Psh, there's no time to be nervous. You just have to take it in, trust your instincts, and let the training take over. Honestly, I'm more likely to get hurt walking to the bathroom when they're flying through an asteroid field.
And it's that kind of the charisma that turned you into a star back on Shen. Tell me, has it followed you at all here on the Cloudbreather?
Well, it certainly hasn't hurt with the ladies, Collin. Come on, you know what I'm saying.
Claudio, I wish I did. Anyway, last question before we say goodbye. Do you think anyone has anything to fear from the artifact?
I mean, it just seems like another piece of debris. But if something goes wrong, don't worry. I can put it right back where I found it.
In local weather, I think we can all feel that refreshing breeze in the air that signifies the temperature regulators have been fully repaired. And not only that, but the artificial gravity is in perfect order and malfunctions are at an all-time low since departure. I don't know how anyone could have ever doubted Chief Paulson, who had this to say on the improved state of the ship.
Yeah, I told you we'd get to it. It's a surprising turnaround. I said I'd be happy. And I am.
And that's not the only good news today, folks. The captain has received word from the ship's computerized workers that they've discovered a new route through space, which should save us several months of travel time. Now, the equations of near-relativistic travel are not easy to balance, but apparently the team has simply been firing on all cylinders after receiving the word. The captain had this to say.
So, you've all heard the good news then? Right, this is really good. And I was the one who told the team to look into that. So obviously, they're the ones who did all the numbers and the hard work, and this is their thing. But I made the right choice by asking them to do it. And the ship's machinery has all been fixed up. Looks like someone knows what they're doing. I'm winking now. This is a wink.
And I've got a special treat for you all today. With news buzzing around the ship that months have been chopped off our voyage to Beta, I decided to catch up with one of our most fascinating passengers, Annie Maddox, owner of the general store and the only computerized individual on board not working in celestial navigation. I met with her in one of her usual haunts, Ruth's bar, where the taps, which have been in a state of disarray since departure, miraculously now seem to be in perfect working order. Here is our chat. Annie, it's great to see you. Or see your avatar on the bar's display, I should say.
You too, Collin. It's so nice of you to reach out.
Well, I had to ask. A 3-month shortcut. How could that be possible?
Oof. Okay, well, basically what I know is the closer you get to big things like stars and black holes, the harder it is to predict what that route will be, like into the future. It takes a bunch of energy to forecast, but apparently the computerized team was just feeling really good and managed to make some huge breakthroughs that charted a safe route through a couple danger zones or something. Honestly, you might have been better off talking to one of the navigators. They've trained their whole lives for this, even before their minds were uploaded. This is all brand new to me.
Oh, really? So all the, equations and computer stuff doesn't come naturally?
Oh, no, not all of it. Normally, potential computerization candidates are identified as children. It was just dumb luck that I happened to be compatible when I was diagnosed with Hyphax. 1 in 10,000, they said. Otherwise, I would have died right along with my body.
Oh, wow. So you didn't really have a choice. I mean, what's it like, leaving the physical world behind?
Take it easy, Collin. This isn't the interrogation booth.
It's fine, Ruth. This is an interview.
Then why is he drinking so fast? That cocktail took me 3 minutes to make. It should take at least 10 minutes to drink, pal. You want me listening to your show at 5 times speed? Enjoy the artistry.
Jesus, Ruth. Sorry, she's my friend, but she thinks she's my mother. To answer your question, Collin, it's been really, really exciting. I was scared at first, but now there's this whole new world of possibilities in front of me to look forward to.
Do you ever miss having a body?
Please, what's to miss?
Hello, Ruth. Pinot Noir, please.
Hey, Lou. Anyone show up to the service today?
I had a couple stroll through. I think they were on their way to the park, but they stayed for a song, which was nice. I suppose most would rather indulge their vices than contemplate the celestial future.
Drink or waste an hour singing to nothing. Yeah, I think I'm with them on this one.
Folks, that voice you're hearing is our resident father of the celestial direction, Lou VanHorne. How are you doing, Father?
Oh, Collin, it's good to see you. You know, I've been thinking about the possibility of broadcasting some of my services.
Wow. Oh, my... Look, I'm so sorry. Guys, everyone, I actually have to run. Annie, thank you so much. Father, I'll see you later. Well, it looks like cold season has come early aboard the Cloudbreather, ladies and gentlemen, with a sudden influx of coughs and sniffles audible down every hallway. Though nothing serious has reared its head yet, our youthful physician, Dr. Lake, has asked me to tell listeners that it's, quote, super important to come see her if you feel sick. She said she didn't want to alarm anybody, but that the rate this bug is spreading is weirdly quick. She also reminds passengers to come in for their physicals because apparently many of you still haven't. After hearing what Dr. Lake had to say, I gave a quick call to Professor Bolin to see if he thought the spread was strange. Here is his take on the situation.
Collin, your cautiousness is admirable, but I'm certain the steep curve can be easily explained by passengers failing to report their illness early on, perhaps hoping to avoid a visit to Dr. Lake. Who can blame them, inexperienced as she is? But more than a match for these sneezes and sniffles, I'm sure.
So it seems this cold is nothing to worry about. And more good news, today, pilot Claudio Atlos managed the first of the complex ship maneuvers called for in our new, shorter route. Though most pilots wouldn't attempt the maneuver without the assistance of several computerized co-pilots, Claudio managed to pull it off solo to great applause from the entire bridge crew. Reached for comment, he had this to say.
I mean, I'm not going to say y'all are lucky to have a pilot like me here, but I think we all know. And I'll be retired before I take a co-pilot, especially one without real eyes to see what's happening.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Collin Gossel, and this is Deep Space Radio. Bad news from the agricultural deck, everyone. I received word from exobiologist Kit Castile this morning that whatever sickness has been going around the station's human residents has seemingly spread to her livestock with much more serious results. Here, she is to tell us what's going on.
I mean, it's so strange. I go in this morning to feed the animals, like I always do right when the sun turns on, because you know how cranky they get if they're hungry. And they're all laying on their sides, breathing hard. They won't even get up for oats or cold milk. I even sang them a little song, and I rubbed their bellies. I mean, I tried everything. And when Dr. Lake arrived, Cotton Ball was not looking good. We had to take him to the infirmary. I know that's the safest thing to do, but I just wish he knew what was going on. I mean, he's only been alive for 2 weeks. He doesn't know why we're taking him away from his parents or why we're poking him with sharp needles. I just hope he knows we're trying to help him.
With Cotton Ball taking ill, many passengers have begun calling on the captain to take some sort of action against whatever illness seems to be taking hold of the ship. Hopefully, whatever he's going to do, he does it soon. Now, this next song is a favorite of mine, and, oh wait, just a minute now. I see here we actually have someone on the line with breaking news. Mercury Theed of Deck 7, welcome to Deep Space Radio. What's going on down there?
Hey. Hi, Collin. So something really weird just happened down at the commissary.
Okay, Mercury, take us through it. What's going on?
So I was just sitting there. I was just minding my own business, not really doing anything, just chilling, hanging out.
Yeah, we get it, Mercury.
Okay, so there was this guy, and he ordered food at the counter, and then, I don't know, suddenly he just, like, froze up and stopped talking, and I don't know, like, his eyes got really wide, and he started shaking pretty bad, and people were asking him, like, are you okay? And he wasn't responding at all. And then suddenly, he just fell down. He, like, dropped everything.
Holy cow, Mercury, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think. I mean, what was really weird is that after that happened, there were these people carrying him out, and the same exact thing happened to one of those people. So it's like, I don't know, maybe this is spreading? Like, maybe everyone in the commissary has it.
Wait, Mercury, are you saying there's some sort of viral infection spreading around the ship?
I don't know. I mean, well, the doctor wants to see everyone that was in the commissary, and I just really hope that I don't have whatever made that happen. I mean, I was just sitting there. I was just minding my own business.
The mood has been tense aboard the Cloudbreather as this unknown illness sweeps through passengers and livestock alike. More reports of passengers seizing and passing out accompany increased headaches, fever, and congestion. Meanwhile, the ship itself is in the best shape it's ever been. Speaking with Chief Engineer Paulson, she had this to say.
Systems aren't just working well, they're working too well. An STS below 100 shouldn't be able to convert deuteronium at more than 5 light grams per mole. We're doing 7 right now. If the captain had tried to do that a week ago, we'd all be dead. I wouldn't have put it past him, but it wasn't possible. Now it is.
Speaking of, the captain has been hard to track down during this crisis, but a group of concerned passengers did manage to confront him as he was forced to travel from his quarters to the bridge. Here is what he had to say.
Well, yes, of course. We're doing everything we can, and obviously this isn't the sort of thing that one expects, but I'm trained to improvise and adapt, and I am a licensed pilot, and so that's what I'm going to do. Everything is going to be fine. Pinky promise. Pinky promise.
Finally, Dr. Lake has been doing her best to discover the cause of these strange symptoms, but pushback from some passengers has forced her to issue this announcement.
Hi, everyone. I know you know this is a serious situation. Obviously, I'm doing everything I can, but I can't treat you if you choose not to report what's happening and refuse to see me in the infirmary. Yes, I'm running tests on some passengers to try and determine what's happening, but the tests are non-invasive and totally harmless. Please, please trust me, and if anything happens to you or someone you care about, come to the infirmary right away. Thank you.
And I think we all saw this coming, with the strange happenings aboard the ship, from the unexplained illnesses to the seeming impossible repair of all the technological system. Eyes have been naturally turned to the strange artifact we picked up in deep space last week. Bradley Theed, head of the Passenger Activism Association and an outspoken critic of the decision to bring the artifact aboard, has gained a mass of excitable followers. They held a rally today on the main concourse outside of Ruth's bar. Here is a clip from the event.
Are we just going to sit around getting sicker and sicker by the day while a team of scientists study the thing responsible? I call on the captain to destroy the artifact as soon as possible. There is no discovery worth risking the necks of the entire ship. When will they listen? When will they care? When? When we start to die? It's only a matter of time before it happens.
Hey, Bradley, you ever want to drink in my bar again? You better cool it fast.
I'm just looking out for all of our safety, Ruth.
Sure, nothing's safer than a riot. Move it, people. You're blocking my entrance.
We have a permit to be here.
What was that?
Okay, we can move down the road a little. Come on, everybody.
Hello, everyone. This is Colin Gossel on Deep Space Radio, and today I have some news I'd rather not share. Yesterday afternoon, the heart rate monitors connected to a patient in sickbay started going off. Dr. Lake and Kit Castile responded instantly. The infirmary was cleared so they could do their work. It was an up-and-down battle for several hours as they managed to pull their patient in and out of consciousness, but finally, at 4 p.m. yesterday, our favorite newborn lamb, Cotton Ball, passed away due to the unknown ailment. Kit Castile was obviously devastated and couldn't be reached immediately for comment. She was seen back on the agricultural deck later, tending to her other sick animals with the assistance of Tasha Paulson, a rare appearance of the chief outside of engineering. When asked whether Cotton Ball's passing may be in some way connected to the artifact, Professor Bolin had this to say.
As easy as it may be to ascribe this ailment to one new variable, there is nothing in modern science that would suggest this spreading illness is connected to a dormant hunk of metal. There's simply no evidence, even with all the fields of study I've covered. As sad as it is to say, the lamb's passing was more likely caused by an error on the part of the animal handler, perhaps a slip in quarantine protocols or contamination in their food or water.
Responding to Professor Bolin's implication that her care may have led to the death, Kit Castile responded like this.
Well, you know what? I know how to work with animals, and I've never seen Professor Bolin around here, you know? And I'll say it. I'm sorry about this, but that's really rude. Anyway, I'm sorry, but it's really rude.
The Cloudbreather is in an absolute uproar, those of us who are still up and about. The Passenger Activism Association, led by Bradley Theed, is putting inescapable pressure on the captain to destroy the artifact. Any scientific discoveries it may yield be damned. Concern over the first casualty of the strange illness, the newborn lamb Cotton Ball, is universal. Other passengers are also... Wait, I'm receiving breaking news. Speak of the devil, it's an audio message from Professor Bolin himself, intended for the whole ship. Here it is now.
Hello everyone, Professor Bolin here. I have some incredible eye-opening news. By studying the data collected by Dr. Lake, inexperienced as she may be, I've concluded that the artifact we picked up in deep space is somehow responsible for the strange happenings on board the ship. It's giving off and receiving no measurable signals, but there is a minuscule vibration happening at the quantum level. As the quantum vibration increases, so do the effects we see aboard the ship. It seems this pyramid of metal is acting as a kind of conduit, channeling the bioenergy of the ship's living creatures into nearby electrical systems, improving and repairing them in the process. This is, obviously, a massive discovery. My colleagues on Chen would be awestruck at what we found. The principles and purpose behind a technology such as this boggle the mind. Perhaps it was never meant to come into contact with life, and this is simply an unfortunate side effect. Perhaps it was left deliberately, a trap to weaken potential invaders into this territory. There's so much we don't know. It's a refreshing and exciting feeling. And yes, not ideal from a safety standpoint, but at the moment, I highly discourage the idea of destroying the artifact. We don't yet understand the nature of our connection to the object, or what could potentially be gained from studying it. We should not be severing our only potential link to understanding.
We're going live now to the bridge where Captain Donnell is about to make a big announcement concerning the artifact that has been siphoning our life energy. Here he is now.
Oh, hello everyone. Captain Donnell here. Now, obviously, it's been a wild few days with the news that the artifact is making us all sick, somehow. I've heard from Professor Bolin, Dr. Lake, and crowds of passengers demanding something be done. I'm your captain, and I'm supposed to do what you want me to do. If you're all frighteningly angry with me, I must be doing something wrong, and so I'm here to say very well. I'm ordering that the artifact be destroyed as soon as possible. I believe this will put an end to the illnesses and satisfy those among us who worry I don't have your best interests at heart. Thank you.
What you're hearing right now is a live feed from the docking bay, where Professor Bolin, under the supervision of Captain Donnell, is preparing to destroy the artifact that's siphoning our life force. The repairs it made to the ship really are fantastic, but sadly, we need to be alive to enjoy them. For those who aren't watching the video feed, the artifact, a metallic pyramid about the height of a person, has been surrounded by an implosion field. Dr. Bolin is now stepping up to the console to address the gathered team.
Hello, everyone. As you can see, this device should render enough inward force to completely crush the artifact. I'd once again like to put on record that I protest this course of action and do not know what it will result in. This is a completely untouched field of study.
Your objections are noted, Professor. Please continue.
Very well.
All right. Silence in the bay now as Dr. Bolin pushes a slider. And nothing yet. The artifact is just sitting there. There's a strange hum, it seems. He's increasing the pressure. Ah! Hello, everyone. This is Collin Gossel, and we're back here at Deep Space Radio. The ship is doing its best to recover today following yesterday's attempt to destroy the artifact. It has now been made clear in no uncertain terms that we are all connected to it in a more intimate way than was initially assumed, and that any damage done to it will be felt by all of us. Although no one was seriously harmed, the procedure yesterday resulted in debilitating pain, loss of faculties, and near unconsciousness for everyone on board the Cloudbreather. We're all just incredibly lucky, I guess, that Dr. Bolin programmed a dead man switch into his machinery, resulting in a deactivation if he were to let go for any reason. Bolin would later release a slightly too excited statement saying that he continues to research the nature of our connection to the artifact. He doubts leaving the artifact behind in space would save us now that the connection has been established, but he's hoping to find a way to sever it before people begin suffering permanent medical consequences. The infirmary is already full of patients, some more serious than others, but none showing any signs of improving, despite Dr. Lake's best efforts. We'll continue to monitor this situation as it develops, folks. But our scientists seem fairly certain if a solution is not found soon, our health will continue to deteriorate until that's it for us. Now, I'm not going to mince words, folks. The vibes are not ideal. With a potentially alien artifact sucking our lives away and no answer of how to stop it, passengers have been keeping to themselves, quiet and fearful. The only community in seemingly high spirits are our computerized colleagues who, thanks to the artifact's boost of all technological systems, find themselves more energized and capable than ever before. To find out what this is like and try to bolster morale a little bit, I once again met up with Annie Maddox, this time at her general store. Here is a little bit of our conversation. Annie, how have you been lately?
Collin, it feels terrible to say, but I've been amazing. Like, I know everyone with a body has been having a rough time, and I know the computerized passengers are in danger too, because who knows if this thing just blows up the whole ship or what? But it's like my brain has just shifted into narrative. I'm thinking so much faster. I can just see and understand like everything at once. You know how the last time we talked, I mentioned it usually takes years of training to do the celestial navigation stuff? Well, it's like no problem for me now. It's all just clicking, and I feel like I am in complete control.
Wow, so I guess you were right before. Nothing to miss with the old body.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, you don't sound so sure.
Okay, here's the thing. Obviously, whenever you make a big change in your life, it's not weird to feel like something is missing. So when I uploaded my mind, which is something I never planned on doing, I figured it would take time, but after I got used to this new way of living, it wouldn't feel that way so much. But now, with this artifact boosting my sensory input, I feel like I'm getting years of experience in days, and I still feel weirdly empty?
Is it that you miss physical sensations, like touch or tasting food?
That's not it. I mean, I can still see, touch, remember things as well as I ever did with a body. Maybe more. I think there are things I plan to do and things that are still a part of me that I can never have like this.
Like what?
Ah, geez. You know what? This is such a bummer. Didn't you come here to boost morale? Let's bring someone over with a positive outlook. Officer Maxwell, out on a walk, I see.
Hey, Annie. Hey, Collin. Everything shipshape? Just doing the old nightly patrol.
Officer, I don't know if a patrol is really necessary. I mean, anyone who would normally be committing crimes is probably sick in bed. You're probably feeling pretty sick yourself.
Really, it's the least I can do. I'm supposed to keep people safe, but I'm just standing around, killing time as they waste away in their beds. Stopped all this when I had the chance.
Herrold, what are you talking about?
I knew that thing was a security risk. I knew it. We didn't need to bring it on board, but the scientists, the senior staff, they were all so thrilled. I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. The captain asked all of us whether we thought we should bring it on board. I'm just like, sure, why not? Why not? I said. A million reasons why not. And I knew them, and I said nothing. My one job to keep us safe. I can't even say one thing.
Hey now, Herrold, I don't know much about any of this, but I know for certain it isn't your fault. I mean, we all signed up for this.
And hey, you know what? I've actually got something I could use your help with if you have the time.
Really? Yeah, of course.
Well, all my employees at the general store are out sick, and I really need someone to look after the plants. They've been wilting under the influence of the artifact, but if you could stop by every now and then, maybe we could save a couple.
Don't you worry, Annie. I will work it into my patrols. You have nothing to worry about.
And the crisis continues, ladies and gentlemen. As illnesses get more serious and sick bay expands into nearby storage rooms, ship leadership has been seemingly unable to come up with a course of action to save us. With some effort, I was able to track down Captain Donnell in a shadowy corner of Ruth's bar and ask him some of the hard-hitting questions you've all been sending in. Here he is now.
Oh, Collin! Yes, of course! I'd love to answer your questions. Please, come on, sit down with the captain.
Thank you. So, Captain Donnell, I guess the biggest question everyone on the ship has is, what are you doing about the artifact?
Collin, radio station host, what do you think I should do? Because I'll tell you what, they did not prepare you for situations like this. It's all flight plans and priority decision making, engine mechanics. I'll tell you, I wasn't even the best at those things.
Yes, I know, sir.
You know, the whole family expected me to be a captain. They said, go with the Cloudbreather. Not even you could screw that up. Well, yes, I proved them wrong.
Captain, listen, you're not doing that bad.
I know how captain's supposed to be, Collin. Collin, they're supposed to be strong and confident and decisive and military. Like Claudio over there. You see him? You see how people love him? They wish I was like that.
Twisted around and boom, gone. Hey, how about another drink for the star, huh? You all believe I'm here? Crazy, right? All the things I've done, all the spots I've gotten out of, and I might here. This rickety old secondhand boring colony ship with a bunch of panicky small towners never been off planet in their lives. What the was I thinking? Hey, bartender, what about that drink?
You're cut off.
Oh, hey, you may not know who I am.
Oh, everyone knows exactly who you are. You're our patronizing, arrogant, skirt-chasing, loudmouth, good-for-nothing pilot who hates the fact he might alongside a bunch of lowly regulars. Well, guess what, Star? You're cut off.
Fine. Towle anyway.
I don't know, Captain. I think I'd rather be you right now.
They have more in common than they realize. Probably be friends before long.
I really don't think so.
Reminds me of something I wrote once. 2 souls hardened, piercing glass, return what they receive.
All right, Captain, you're waxing poetic again. I think I think you've had enough.
Return what they receive. Huh. Pardon me, I have to check something.
Big news today, everybody, as we go live to the bridge where Captain Donnell has an important announcement. Here he is now.
Yes. Thank you all for being here. I have some big news. Now, it's not a sure thing yet, but I believe we may have a solution to the crisis of the artifact. Last night, contemplating over a brandy, as one does, I had an idea. When we damage the artifact, it hurts us. Perhaps if we inflict suffering on ourselves, it will feed back into the artifact. Stay with me, stay with me. I spoke with Professor Bolin and Dr. Lake this morning, and they believe that this may be a viable solution. I've brought them in to explain in more detail.
Yes, as surprising as it feels to say, I think the science may support Captain Donnell's theory. Though the connection itself defies understanding, initial tests do suggest it works in both directions. And, not unlike the way seafaring predators suffer from mercury poisoning after collecting many non-lethal doses from their prey, it may be possible to deal the artifact serious harm without suffering any casualties. Though I will not mince words, it will be unpleasant. Dr. Lake?
Yes, hello. After talking with the captain and the professor, I think I've been able to design an artificial virus that we can mass produce and infect ourselves with. I've also designed an antivirus that will cure us almost instantly, but like Professor Boylan said, this isn't like a fake illness. It's real. We're not passing the illness to the artifact. We're passing our life energy, the actual suffering. So it has to actually suck.
Look, I know this is more than any of you signed up for, and I can't order anyone to infect themselves if they don't want to, but this seems like the only way. This is our best bet to beat the artifact and survive. Inoculations will begin in sickbay immediately. I hope you all choose to be there. Thank you.
Hey there, everyone. I went earlier today to the infirmary where Dr. Lake has been available all day to infect passengers with her artificial virus. Sadly, however, I would describe the amount of people arriving for the procedure as a trickle. Dr. Lake is here with me now. With her comments on the situation, go ahead, Dr. Lake.
This is very bad. If not enough people choose to receive the virus, then we may not be able to destroy the artifact, and everyone who does get infected will have suffered for nothing.
I mean, where could everyone be?
I mean, it seems obvious, right? They don't trust me. They wouldn't show up for their physicals. They wouldn't come to me even if they were getting sick. Why would they show up now when I say I'm going to make them suffer? Now what are we going to do?
Hey, wait a minute. Do you hear that?
Yeah, what is it?
I mean, it sounds like a crowd. They've just rounded the bend. It's a huge group of people. They're being led by Bradley Theed, head of the Passenger Activism Association. It looks like they're walking towards the infirmary.
Dr. Lake! Dr. Lake! Is it too late to receive the inoculations, Doctor?
No, of course not. I just didn't think so many of you would be coming.
Well, I had to say a couple of things to whip people into gear, but it seems like you're looking out for us, so I'll look out for you. Where do I sit?
Right this way.
Among the crowd, I see two familiar faces, exozoologist Kit Castile and head engineer Tasha Paulson. Kit, how do you feel about receiving the virus?
Look, I just don't want to lose anyone else.
Move, now.
Of course. And here's another cool lady, teenager Mercury Theed of Deck 7. Mercury, were you surprised to see your dad lead this whole crowd to the infirmary?
All right, he doesn't make me want to die. He's still not cool. But that's pretty cool.
All right, folks, it looks like that's all for now.
Collin, it's your turn.
Yeah, shit. Hi, everyone. I'm Collin Gossel, and this is Deep Space Radio. Well, for better or worse, the plan is in progress, folks. With 94% of the Cloudbreather receiving an inoculation with the artificial virus, unpleasant symptoms are already in full swing across the ship. I can personally attest to a scratchy throat, congestion, and bouts of nausea. And Dr. Lake says the virus is designed to get worse, not better. As the ship hunkers down and prepares for a war of attrition with the artifact, I caught up with the doctor herself in the infirmary and found her uncharacteristically reserved. Here's a small snippet of our conversation. You must be proud, Doctor. A 94% inoculation rate is a spectacular show of faith in your abilities from the ship.
I mean, it totally is, right? And, I thought I was ready for it, but this is just really different from what I thought. Here's the thing. When I was being certified at the university, I aced all of my tests, but some of the teachers refused to pass me because they said I didn't have the proper demeanor for a physician. Some random dean had to push my certification through. I mean, maybe they shouldn't have.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm supposed to be a doctor. I took an oath to do no harm, but here I am, creating viruses and making people sick on purpose. I'm throwing together random treatments to slow down an illness I don't understand at all. And I didn't expect any of it. Didn't see it coming. Maybe I am in over my head.
As the artificial virus continues to worsen with no noticeable effect on the artifact so far, the vibe among passengers has been quiet, fearful, and sickly. On the main concourse, VanHorne held his daily worship service, normally attended by less than a handful. Today, he addressed a crowd of over 100. Here's a snippet from the sermon.
We must all remember that our sense of self is but a shield from the harsh truth of our seemingly minuscule part in the cosmos. But in the celestial direction, no part is insignificant. Each role is essential to the never-ending. And after this brief, chaotic life, we will all return to the calm order of the cosmos.
One passenger who's less than thrilled by the idea of returning to the Celestial Order is the belle of the Cloudbreather, Octogenarian Martha Crittle. Despite her age and recent operation, Martha shocked many by choosing to become infected with the artificial virus along with many of us. When asked about her choice, she had this to say.
What? You think I came along on this ride to sit in the back and let the young people do all the dangerous stuff? I knew what I was signing up for, Collin, and it was not to be carried along while others hurt on my behalf.
Martha, the virus could have even worse effects on a woman your age.
First off, the next time you say a woman your age to me, I will hit you. I swear I will. Second, a woman my age has had plenty of time. Better use what I have left to help.
Hi guys, this is Collin Gossel, and this is Deep Space Radio. Everyone feels like shit. The entire ship is running a fever with prolonged nausea and bouts of dizziness. Dr. Lake advises all but the most essential workers stay in bed and hydrate. Full disclosure, I was told I should not be doing the show in my current state. But let's see any of their sick asses drag themselves all the way up to the top deck to take me off the air. The good news, I guess, is that the Cloudbreather itself has never been better. By any measurable statistic, it is now the fastest, most efficient colony ship in human history. If we weren't all dying, some estimates believe we'd arrive at Beta a full year ahead of schedule. When asked about the state of her beloved starship, Chief Engineer Tasha Paulson had this to say.
Don't make me say it, okay?
Say what?
I'd rather the ship was falling apart again, okay? Are you happy?
Yeah, Chief, super happy, super happy. And with the ship's corporeal passengers out for the count, it's a good thing our computerized colleagues are reaching superhuman levels of processing power to pick up the slack. In fact, they are now moving so quickly they've retreated into their own business. They've left messages so we know what's going on, but no one has actually spoken with any of them, even General Store owner Annie Maddox. Certainly none of the navigators for several days. The compounding effect of both the artifact and the manufactured virus have begun to take a serious toll on passengers with weaker immune systems. Many young and elderly patients are now being consigned to sickbay indefinitely. And yet, through all this suffering, there's been no change to the artifact. Is it possible this plan was never going to work? Are we killing ourselves for no reason at all? A few questions to mull over as I play this next song. Exciting news, everyone, if any of you can summon the energy to celebrate it. A tiny crack appeared today in the corner of the artifact. Of course, it's unclear whether the crack was, in fact, caused by our efforts. Meanwhile, there's hardly a passenger left able to move about and do their work, and dozens are in serious condition, monitored nonstop in the infirmary. Bradley Theed today approached the captain, voicing the question on all of our minds. Will people start to die before we manage to destroy the artifact? Captain Donnell issued a statement in response.
I understand how you all feel, and I feel it too. But we can't stop now. I must see this through.
Hey everyone, this is Collin Gossel on Deep Space Radio, dragging myself with what little adrenaline I have left up to my desk. I've heard the cracks in the artifact have started to widen at a visible rate, and I'm now booting up my vid systems to see. Yes, it's true. What remains of the science team is observing as the artifact begins to crumble. I can even see it here on the console. Something's happening. It's like a strange feedback loop in the air. The science team is falling to its knees, but there's nothing we can do now. Fred, it's 4 feet off the ground now and beginning to rotate. There's light. The lights are flickering. I'm beginning to suspect something is happening. I can barely see it now. I can't Ladies and gentlemen, this is Collin Gossel, and we're back here at Deep Space Radio. Congratulations to all passengers aboard the Cloudbreather for weathering the storm and defeating the artifact with no human casualties. Apologies, of course, for going off the air. The power surge fried some of my more budget-friendly circuits, and I had to make some repairs, but now we're back, none the worse for wear. Immediately following the destruction of the artifact, many people on board reported hearing a strange voice calling out to them. The source of the voice is unclear, and any audio device that recorded it promptly blew up. So I guess we'll just have to save that mystery for another day. Dr. Lake quickly administered her antivirus, and it's safe to say we're all back to our happy pre-artifact state. But that sadly also applies to the ship itself, which seems to be making up for lost time with twice as many malfunctions as it had before. Reached for comment, Chief Paulson had this to say.
The way it should be. Move.
A party has been raging all evening down at Ruth's bar. I stopped by and managed to get this statement from Ruth, the bar owner, herself.
Thank God. I almost thought about closing. Look at this. Everyone's happy. Except this one. What's your problem, Lou?
Just a touch of melancholy, I suppose. No one at service today. It seems I'm only needed when people are desperate and miserable.
Have a drink on me, Father. You're doing important work.
But Ruth, you're not a believer, are you?
Of course not. But take the drink anyway.
Well, it seems that despite our best efforts, we didn't manage to get through the crisis completely unscathed. For more on the situation, here's me earlier today at the infirmary. I'm coming to you now from the infirmary, where Dr. Lake and Professor Bolin have been caring for our dear Martha Crittle, who it seems has lost the use of her legs due to the physical strain of the crisis. Despite the tragedy, however, she remains in high spirits. How are you doing, Martha?
Get that microphone out of my face if you want to keep it. I need my frosty winks.
Well, that's classic Martha. Is she going to be okay, Doctor?
Yes, and she'll still be able to move around with the mobility device Professor Bolin is designing. She's super lucky. It was really risky for a minute when things got bad, but she'll pull through. No thanks to me.
What are you talking about, Lake?
You're right to doubt me. I thought I was ready, but I am clearly not. Or I would have prepared for this. I would have known what to do.
Known what to do? Girl, if I am at a loss, you most certainly should be as well. Being ready does not mean you're finished. It means you're at the beginning. It means you have what it takes to start learning from experience rather than the expensive books written by half-dead academics. And you have what it takes as much as any medical student I certified at the university.
Wait, you were the one who pushed my certification through?
Of course. You seemed on par with the rest of the half-rate riff-raff that school churned out, so why shouldn't I? Don't prove me wrong.
Of course. Thank you, Professor.
Yes.
All is back to normal aboard the Cloudbreather. Officer Maxwell is trying to catch whoever soaked his shoes in milk. Chief Paulson is hard at work keeping the grav system operational. And Mercury Theed has sent us a new song. It's called White Shoes, and I can't wait to play it. One of the only notable changes is the increased presence of Captain Donnell, who seems to be roaming the ship more than the fearful, distant captain we observed upon departure. To comment, I received a message from exozoologist Kit Castile, still recovering from the passing of newborn lamb Cottonball. Here is what she had to say.
It's been really tough. But after everything settled down, I got this letter from the captain. Here, I'll read it for you. Carrie, though we've survived to fight another day, our souls can feel stuck in place, left behind when we lose someone we care about. There are no easy words or trite phrases I can offer you to solve this. I know you fear Cottonball's last moments were filled with fear and uncertainty, but I believe he, like many animals, could sense the love that surrounded him, and that he knew, despite the subtle differences between sheep and humans, that we were all the same in the eye of the universe. Lost, fearful lambs in the grand cosmic forest of deep space, filled with the same wonders and terrors that he felt as he drifted off to sleep. Humans can forget truths like these, but animals know. At the end, he knew he was not alone. None of us are. That's why he's the best captain. No matter what they say.
Accessing security footage.
Annie! Good, you're back.
Herrold, what are you doing here? And why are you wearing that big hat?
What do you mean? I'm taking care of the plants like you asked.
Holy cow, they look incredible. Did they all make it?
We actually lost a rose bush. Sorry.
Herrold, you don't need to be sorry. This is amazing. You must have been tending to them constantly.
No, it was fine. It was really nice, actually. Just me and the plants. But where have you been? I expected to see you back as soon as the artifact was destroyed.
Well, it's a little hard to explain, but I was working on something.
What?
Okay, if I tell you, it has to be a secret, okay? You can't tell anyone.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, good. One sec. Officer Maxwell, I'd like you to meet my daughter.
Your what?
Deep Space Radio will return in Season 2. Cyberchild.